Here are some slightly traumatised guinea pigs. My mum only lives up the road and she's been looking after them while we get our stuff sorted. So it's finally sorted and now I can bring them home. But they're looking slightly traumatised. They were probably only in the car for about 6 minutes and they're traumatised. Aren't you? Hey, sausage? Hi everyone, so I'm back. Sorry it's been so long. I've actually been filming a bunny shed building video, but it's taking a lot longer to build than I thought. So yeah, sorry it's been ages. But as you know, if you watched the end of my last video, our life has been a little bit hectic, so I haven't unfortunately really been able to film very much. So I'm filming this video because I just got the piggies back. They've been staying with my mum for a couple of weeks. Like I say, at the end of my last video I explained that we had to move house, really short notice. So basically I moved in with my dad and brought my boyfriend down with me. Initially I moved in with the bunnies and Sheldon, and my mum said that the piggies could stay at her house. She's got an office which she doesn't use very much, so they were able to stay in their cages in the office. My mum's not very far away, she's just up the road, so I could go down and pop in and see them, and you know, I could clean them out and everything, because I didn't want her to have to... Oh, they've gone all shy. I didn't want her to have to clean them all out and everything as well, because it's quite a big ask, to be honest. So they were in a slightly smaller cage and they were just on bedding, so she didn't have to worry about washing fleeces and stuff. Oh, you excited having a bigger cage again? It wasn't too much small, well, it probably came to sort of there, so it was still a decent size, but for 3 of them they were starting to get on each other's nerves, so it's nice to have them in a bit of a bigger cage again. And if Lily shows us her face, you can see that Poppy has had a go at Lily's hair and she's chewed it all off, which so now Lily looks really silly. Hello Lily. She had a bit of a mullet, so I cut off around the back as well to even it up so she didn't look quite so silly. Oh, they can both fit through the tunnel together. There they are. Hi, sausage. Oh, they're really excited. Okay, so down here we have got, please don't panic, again, they're in their travel cages because they only moved in a couple of days ago, and I am also going to be bonding them together. What is that chattering going on behind me? So we have Jafar in here, and in this one we have our new girl, which we brought home just before we had to move, which wasn't ideal. So my mum has actually done an amazing job taming her, and she is now really tame, although she's, I think, having a nap at the moment, so she's not being all that exciting, but normally she's always out and she's sleeping. She sleeps out in a pile of hay as well, so they are due a clean out today, so they're looking a bit mucky, but the idea is that these two will be bonded together and then they will be in a one of these cages. Excuse all this stuff. This is the reason that the piggies weren't able to move into my dad's house before, because obviously when we moved house we'd been living by ourselves, so we had a house worth of stuff. So all the stuff was in this room. So we've sorted that out and found a container to put it in, so now the piggies can move in. Oh gosh, you guys are very busy. Aren't you? So I'll do a quick cage tour for these guys because I've just sorted it out and it won't stay like this for long. So over in this corner here we have a paws up nest, which they really love. I do like the ones for paws up, from paws up. They seem to hold up really well. This one I've probably had for 4 years, something like that. So it's been through the wash a lot, and it's not quite in as good a shape as it came in, but the piggies really love it, as Poppy's demonstrating. And then we have the Knorr garland, which I always have in my cage tours because I think they're adorable. Hello. Oh, this is the Piggy tent from Piggy Pig Pigs. I'm not sure the exact name, but I picked this up at the National Pet Show. And if you watch my National Pet Show video, you'll see her stall in there. And this is the first time I've actually given it to the piggies, but they're already really enjoying going in and out. And this is another one of her products. This is the Weekaboo tunnel, which again, I've only just got to give them because we did have to move house quite shortly after the show, so oh, they're gonna love that. I'm not sure where this fleece came from. This is one of the ones that came with Silver and Pearl when I adopted them, which were two of my gorgeous past piggies. I don't think you're meant to fit through there, Poppy. So I'm not sure where the fleeces came from, but I like them. They're a bit mismatched at the moment, again, because all of their stuff, I've just found one of their boxes of stuff. So I've been sifting through that to try and find some things for them. And then here we have the Chew Tube, which I get quite a lot of these. I buy them from Pets at Home. You can also get them on Chinchillas to Shop, and they just love stripping these. Again, they've got their IKEA dolls bed, which is their favourite thing ever, and the pad that I made for the top. And then they've got this disgusting bowl at the minute, which came from B&M, and it really needs a clean out. Again, I've literally just got them home from my mum's, so I need to give that a clean out. And then they have a willow ball, which came from Chinchillas to Shop, and they have slightly destroyed it. Oh, this is where Lily likes to sit when she wants vegetables. If she hears me coming, she'll hop up here and then squeak until I feed her, which seems to work pretty well for her. What are you doing? Let's see your silly hair. What's Poppy done to your hair? She's chewed it all off. What has she done? I think it's probably, she did it a little bit before when we were in our old house, but I think the severity of it is partly due to them not having such a big cage, and they were probably a little bit bored. And it is a behaviour that some guinea pigs display called barbering, which hello, which can be down to a lot of reasons. I partly think it's because Poppy wants to be the top pig and Lily had the coolest hair. So now Poppy's got the coolest hair. So here they have their Fitch bedding, as always, which I like to use in the kitchen area. I just find it's a lot easier to maintain than the fleece because they're eating round here and they're drinking round here. This is where they tend to pee and poop the most. And I find, that if I just have fleece, it just gets disgusting so quickly. And I work full time, so I don't have the time to maintain it. So I do find that this really helps with that. And it's really good for odour control, and it's super absorbent, it's dust extracted, it's just paper, so if they eat it, it's not going to do them any damage. It's all recycled, and I just haven't found a better bedding, to be honest. Then here they have, excuse the shadows, I am filming at night like normal. They have their Hop Nibble Squeak tunnel, hay tunnel. It's just got these slatty bits where you shove hay down between. Hello. And I don't know what's going on with Hop Nibble Squeak at the moment. They keep sort of shutting and then reopening, so I'm not sure whether you can still get these, but the piggies absolutely love it. And if she does start selling stuff again, oops, that was a big noise. If she does start selling these again, I'll probably have to get a new one because it is starting to get a bit skanky. And then they've got this hay, which I've managed to actually find some really green hay, but it's not showing up on the camera all that well. But I do struggle to get really fresh green hay down here for some reason. And then there they've just got a CNC grid with 2 water bottles. That one does need filling up. Again, I've only just put them in, so I'm still getting them sorted. Hello! And a little dangling mirror thing. So that is their cage. I don't know what size it is yet because I've sort of only just botched it together. But it's probably a similar size to the cage that they had at our old house. Hi! Hi Lily! Oh, it's going to be lovely to have them back because even though I could visit them, it's not quite the same when you come in from work and they're not squeaking angrily for veggies. Not quite the same. It's been very quiet without you, Lily. So here's the room that the piggies are in. Ooh, will not focus. So I've managed to get them up on tables again, which has really helped with Ollie especially because he's terrified of absolutely everything. And then there's some more of our stuff, part of our sofa. And then Jafar and the new girl who is called Holly. My mum actually named her because they moved in with my mum quite shortly after we had brought her home, because we got her just before we moved, not expecting obviously to move so quickly or at all. She still didn't have a name, so my mum has called her Holly. Hopefully she'll be out in a minute. I think the moving in of the other piggies has freaked them out a little bit. No! You hungry? Oh, it's been a long day, hasn't it? It's a very hard life being a guinea pig. Here's Shelley. She's still in her new tortoise table, which was one of my more recent videos, building her a new enclosure. So updates on Sheldon, she didn't end up hibernating, and that was because of the move. Basically, we had wound her down for hibernation, which is part of the hibernation process. You have to starve them for a certain period of time, depending on their age and how many times they've hibernated and things like that. You have to work out how long to starve them for. It sounds really mean, but if they hibernate with any food in their tummies, it rots, because when they're asleep in hibernation, their metabolism slows right down. Nothing passes through their system, so it just rots in their tummy, and it can cause gases and it can actually be fatal. So that's a really important part of hibernation, it's a starvation period. So we had already starved her for 2 weeks and we were about to put her into hibernation, and then we found out we had to move. And I couldn't really move a hibernating tortoise because they've got to be kept at a really steady temperature when they're in hibernation. Excuse her water, she's been walking around and then walking through and doing the standard Sheldon trick, so I need to clean that out in a second. So much cleaning to do with animals. But yes, when they're in hibernation, they need to be kept at a really steady temperature. If the temperature drops below freezing, then the fluid in their eyes can freeze, causing them to go blind, and they can just freeze to death. And if the temperature goes above, I think it's 10 degrees, then their body releases a burst of glucose, and their body basically tells them to wake up. And then if the temperature drops below that again, then they go to sleep. And if that happens, then basically when it comes for them to wake up properly, they just don't have the resources or the energy to wake up, and their body just can't wake them up, and they can die that way. So basically, long story short, they need to be kept at a very steady temperature, which isn't really possible when you're moving across the country. So we took her out of the starvation period and just started overwintering her instead, which is where you just keep feeding them and keep them at the same temperatures and stuff as you would normally, just to trick them into thinking that it's not actually winter and keeping them awake. So that's not ideal. Her species it is natural and it is quite healthy for them to hibernate, because otherwise they're eating 365 days a year and they do tend to grow too quickly, and that's when you have some issues with pyramiding and that sort of thing. But for one winter it won't hurt. So yeah, so it's been a bit tricky moving at this time of year, but we needed to do it. If you haven't seen my last video, it was because basically the house that we lived in got sold, and it was in the contract that we were there as we were guardians to the property. Basically, the property was going to get developed, so we were just living in it in the meantime to stop it getting squatted in and to stop it falling down and that sort of thing. So that was part of our contract, but they only actually gave us 10 days to move, which they told us that they were going to give us a month, but they gave us 10 days, and in the contract, you know, it said that they could do that. So that happened, but our move date was 28th of December, which was right between Christmas and New Year, and it just meant that we didn't have time to find another house where we lived, and that when none of the estate agents were open. So basically we just had to move in with my family, which is fine. But that is that's that story. So here's Sheldon. Sheldon's doing really well. Camera's not focusing very well, but so yeah, she's still in this enclosure. She doesn't have the top level because she's actually under the stairs at my dad's house, so there isn't room for her top level where her table is, but there's still plenty of space for her. She's still quite small and it is a pretty big enclosure for her, so that's fine. And then eventually we will find our own place again. But down here near my family, we did eventually want to move closer to my family anyway. So when we do find our own place, then we can put her top level back on, but this will be fine for the minute. So she's just got her pretty normal setup, rocks and pretend plants. And no, she doesn't try and eat these. I get loads of questions all the time. She doesn't try and eat them. It just makes it a bit more stimulating for her. It gives her things to walk round and under, and she really enjoys that. I think it's quite important to have lots of things for them in here, so it's not just one blank open space. And she's got tunnels, and over there she's got, my boyfriend actually got given this for Christmas. It's a mini allotment, which is really, really cute, and I just put that over there with some little cactuses in because they are the only sort of plants that I seem to not kill. And they will do fine in here with the dry climate. I've tried growing some tortoise safe plants in her enclosure, but they just seem to dry out under the light, and Sheldon then goes and stomps all over them. She is a bit of a stomper, and then they die. But I'm not sure if Sheldon can eat these, but she can't actually reach them, so it's not an issue. So they are there because she only comes up to like here on there, so she can't actually get in there. It's more for looking cute in her enclosure. There she is. When I do her enclosure as well, when she gets cleaned out, I do try and make mounds and all these cool things, but as she stomps around it does tend to just flatten out, so she is due a clean out fairly soon. But there we go, there's Sheldon. The bunnies are doing well as well. They are outside at the minute. We did have to acclimatise them fairly quickly to being outside, which was really, really scary because it's not the time of year to put rabbits outside when they're used to being inside. But they are absolutely fine. They have their winter coats and they are in a shed, so they're not getting any of the wind or the rain, which is the main thing. But they're just wasn't room to move all of the pets and all of our stuff in with my dad. So we are coming to the end of building their shed. We're just trying to divide it up the middle at the moment so they can both live in there, because as you know, the bonding is not going very well between them and they do not like each other, so we are having to divide everything up the middle. But that should be done pretty soon, and as soon as it is, I will put a video up. I have been filming the process of building it, so that should be up quite soon. But there's Sheldon. So there are all the piggies and Sheldon. There will... Oh, bless you. I'll let you know how it goes with bonding Jafar and Holly. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.